Welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you guys can see, I have another pair of Vibram shoes for review, and these are Vibram Five Fingers. Not a fan of those fingers, but oh well. Vibram Five Fingers V-Trail 2.0, a very popular shoe from Vibram. Popular judging by the Amazon reviews. Over 1,000 reviews, almost 5 stars. Currently $120. And I have to say, this particular Vibram shoe is one of my favorites. Not the top favorite, but definitely close to it. So, let's start the review. As some of you already know, this review specifically for my Ultimate Survival Boots section. And of course, these are not boots, but if you were hiking in your boots, right? And you were surviving, something bad happened, you left your house, you traveled for 20 miles to get to the safety, and you reached an abandoned building. You can't get into the inside, but there's a way for you to climb up from the outside in order to look around the area, okay? Scoop the area, whatever. Listen, use your imagination, okay? My imagination does not work very well today for whatever reason. But you had these in your backpack, in your survival backpack. Very lightweight, very compact shoes. You take them out, you put them on, and there you go. You can run around, leave your backpack somewhere safe, run around, climb whatever, cross the river, whatever you need, fight, hell, I don't know. Because you're super lightweight in these, right? They weight absolutely nothing. And would they be good for that particular purpose? Well, how do we make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Let's begin. Criteria number 1, comfort level. And in order to test the comfort level of all the shoes and boots that I review on this channel, I do a 3-mile run, non-stop, through different terrains. And then a 5-mile walk, again, non-stop. And then I continue wearing the shoes for the rest of the day, so that the total wear time is about 8 hours. Alright, so overall, I am impressed more or less with the comfort level of the shoes, but they could have been way better. Okay, let's start with the very first factor that contributes to that comfort is the weight. And let's see, this is the size 9.5, 10, and they are 7. Excellent, just perfect weight, I would say, not less, not more. If you're looking for the shoes, extra shoes to carry in your backpack, something super lightweight, something, some kind of a backup, right? I would not recommend going higher than 7 ounce. 7 ounce is the perfect weight. Anything below is better. And these are just right there on the spot, so pretty good. Another thing that kind of contributes to the comfort is the flexibility of the bottom sole. Here, as you can see, it is super flexible, so you can run properly without any problems in the shoes. Another thing here, more or less, that contributes to the comfort level better than other Vibram shoes is the inner sole. Now, it's still super thin. Too thin for my preference, but it is better than a lot of other stuff. It actually does have some jelliness to it. Also, there is some padding around the shoe, and on the inside, this material, it's kind of stretchy and soft to the touch, so overall, pretty good. Now, my only complaint here with the comfort level are these fingers. These in between the fingers, these parts in between the fingers, they create that rubbing sensation in between your fingers, in between your toes, and that does not feel good. Over probably about a mile into my run, it did not feel very good. So I would say, to me, I know this is like a Vibram signature thing, these fingers, but to me this just kills the whole comfort level of the boot. Something that actually could have been good, that just ruined it, unfortunately. But let's move on to the criteria number 2, proofing and protection. So proofing wise, obviously there isn't much proofing here at all, because this is just a tiny shoe. I honestly wish that there were some pores, that this material was a little bit lighter to dry up faster if you decide to cross the river, because you're gonna get wet regardless when you're crossing the river. But this is not the case here, which is, I mean, it's not a big deal, just a little kind of a suggestion. Although Vibram does have specifically a water shoe with the pores, with the drainage vents. But I would like to see them on most of these, because really that's kind of a, you can use them, make them all purpose. Why narrow it down so much? Whenever it comes to the protection, obviously there isn't much. The outsole here is a little bit thicker than most of the Vibram shoes, so you do have some protection from the outside. You do have some overlay going over the fingers here. Not much. It's still super soft. Don't drop anything on your on your foot, but you still have something, so it's better than nothing. All right, but everything else is super soft though, so don't rely much on the protection for the rest of the foot. Let's move on to the criteria number 3, outsole, quality and the design features. Criteria number 3, quality-wise, like I said, there are over 1,000 reviews currently on Amazon, so people do like these shoes, all right? Speaking of the design features here, we have our quick lacing system, which I do like. Is great. The strings themselves, they're not stretchy, and there is this locking mechanism, which is good. It works well, and of course there's a Velcro where you can attach this piece. The only thing is the leftover, this stuff, which you can tuck in somewhere, but if you do, it's kind of a trip. If you don't, it's kind of a tripping hazard. Keep that in mind. Let's move on to the criteria number 4 now, the important one, the outsole traction and stability. So, like I said, whenever I do my run and my walk, I do it on a variety of different surfaces, starting with older asphalt, newer tarmac, going to the dry sand, wet sand, dry grass, wet grass, then on the rocky road, then the trail surface, then concrete, then the rubber, marble, tile, and then the rock wall. So, I do like this outsole, probably the best outsole of all the Vibram shoes that I reviewed on this channel. I do wish it was a little bit thicker to give you a little bit more protection, not as flimsy, but the design pattern is very, very good. It's a good balance between aggression and flatness. Personally, that's what, if there was only one shoe that I could choose for my hiking, okay, let me clarify that. If there was one outsole that I could choose for my hiking in a shoe like this, that would be it. I would not choose this shoe, however, for my hiking, unfortunately, because of my personal comfort issues with these fingers. I'm not a fan of that. 5-finger, I am not a fan of those. But the outsole, I think here is one of the best. It is really, really nice. Great balance between aggression and flatness, and climbing in these shoes is very doable too because of the overall design. Pretty cool. But let's move on to the criteria number 5, temperature. Now, this is one of those Vibram shoes that runs a little bit on the hotter side. Because you're wearing these shoes without the socks on, your skin is touching this material, and this material does not feel, well, let me rephrase that. It does feel good on your skin, but over time it's not very breathable, so it does make you overheat, makes your foot overheat over time. It is light, it is soft, but I don't know, there's something about this fabric that makes your foot overheat, so I'm not too impressed with the material of this foot. Let's move on to the criterion, shoe. Let's move on to the criterion number 6, the sizing. Now, this is another shoe from the Vibram collection that runs a little bit on the smaller side. There are only 2 shoes that I was not impressed with with the sizing, because they run on the smaller side, is this one and the V-Run. I'm not sure why they run small, because everything else, I think I reviewed total about 10 Vibram shoes so far. All the others were spot on, great size, great fitment, 9.5, 10 for me personally, but this runs small, so keep that in mind. Let's move on to the criteria number 7, bounce of application. So, if this really was your survival shoe, your backup survival shoe, right? You got to the point, to somewhere where you needed to run or climb, and you took these out, you put them on, and you started doing whatever you were planning to do. Would they be good? I would say they are probably better than most of the other Vibram shoes out there. My really more of a personal complaint is the comfort level with the fingers and the lack of the breathability in the fabric. That's really it. If you are okay with the fingers and you're okay with this fabric and the breathability of it, you're actually gonna like these ones, because they are, in my opinion, in the top 3 of all the Vibram shoes that I reviewed so far, for sure. But let's move on to the very last criterion, because that kind of will be the determining factor. Criterion number 8, price. $120. Ouch. Wow. Why you gotta hit so hard, Vibram? $120 for what? Well, I mean, honestly, I had this question. This is the last shoe that I'm reviewing of all the Vibram shoes that I reviewed so far in this batch. I had like 10 of them. Finally, jeez. Sick of these fingers, honestly. But I'm even sicker of the prices. Because every time I got to the price with these shoes, I was like, why? Well, some of the best shoes that I reviewed on this channel, hiking shoes, whatever, they were in that price range. This is not anywhere close to being that good, honestly. And this is just a shoe. There's really not much to it. You know, not much of outsole, not much of the shoe, not much of the features or anything like that, right? So, I don't know. Maybe it's just the name Vibram. Now, don't get me wrong. Vibram is a fantastic brand whenever it comes to the outsoles. Except maybe the outsoles on their own shoes, which are, as you can see, sometimes it's fantastic outsole like this one. But sometimes it just makes no sense, almost like nobody from Vibram ever worn that shoe. So, yeah, it's kind of a hit and miss. But in other boots that I reviewed from other brands with the Vibram outsole, because Vibram does make outsoles for other brands' boots, the Vibram outsoles are unbelievably good. Some of the best outsoles. So I'm not, kind of coming in defense Vibram, because I don't want to kind of complain about them, because they are a good brand. But their own shoes, they really need to figure out a few things, in my opinion, as well as figure out the pricing. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think about this shoe? What do you think about this review? If you have any requests for reviews, drop them in the comments below. I'll be happy to address them. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. See you guys in the next video.